I'm back on my own, gotta put it in drive. Sat through the pain while I said I was blind. Too much emotion and pressure makes stress. I put that on myself but can't put it aside.
We are continuing on with Sleep Token's album Sundowning. So far, this album is so good, but it's only been a few songs, but it's Sleep Token, so there's no way they're gonna miss. This song is called Dark Signs, and I'll be honest, lately, a lot of the songs I've been listening to, my interpretations are building a story within my own head. I'm not following specific lore or anything like that. I am building a story in my own head based off of what I'm interpreting from these things. So when I do a reaction to Sleep Token or any band, these are my own personal interpretations. And then I like to, talk to you guys in the comments and see what your interpretations are. You guys fill me in on, some of the lore and, how this may relate to that lore and stuff like that. So, I look forward to those things, but just keep in mind that these are my personal interpretations. And when I do a song or when I hear a song or anything like that, I actually am, connecting it to my own personal things or my own personal interpretation, just what I think the song means. And especially with a band like Sleep Token, I'm building a story in my head. Every song is connected in some type of way, it seems. And, I've got this narrative going on, but, it seems also that narrative is changing here and there, based off of certain songs I'm reacting to and listening to, and even based off of some of the things you guys are pointing out that I may not have, picked up on or noticed. So with that being said, I'm super excited to hear this because, so far it's been phenomenal. If you are new to the channel and you haven't seen any of my Sleep Token reactions, I have started from the beginning. My first reaction was actually Gethsemane. And then as soon as I heard that, I had to go back to the beginning of their discography and start from, square one and just keep going to see where they led from there all the way up to where they are right now. So I'm really into that. If you want to see all those, you can head over to my playlist and you can check out all my Sleep Token reactions. If you want to subscribe, you can see more of these. But yeah, other than that, we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get right into it. But as always, no expectations. Oh, this is different.
Where I was raised, there wasn't no street lights.
What?
Just pitch black and passing headlights. Where we met, there must have been dark signs, omens in your sky.
I'm sorry. What is his voice right now? That is, I mentioned deeper tones when he's singing. Like sometimes he has a richer, deeper tone and then he kicks it up into a higher one and stuff like that and then forget about it with his falsettos. But this is the deepest and lowest I've heard him go. And so far the vibe of this track and the vibe of and style of his singing right now is reminding me of the artist Clever. I don't know if you've ever listened to Clever, but there's something about this that's giving me such a Clever vibe. Like I couldn't help it. His Clever's music and, just Clever in general popped into my head when I was listening to this.
There must have been dark signs, omens in your skies. Most days you reach for safety. Remain calm, forget that you know me. When we met, I could see dark signs, alarm bells in your eyes. And I miss the man I was.
Oh.
The moment we left off. And I hate who I have become.
God, the layers. This is so good.
And I miss the night I walked, the moment we left. And I hate how we come. Every time I wake up.
Another fade out. Oh my God. This song definitely should have faded out the way it just did. This was, oh my God. His voice is, we already know, it's something else, so I'm not even going to harp on it. But now for me, now please remember, when I say sleep, I'm using sleep as a placeholder. It's like using X in math. It's just a placeholder for whatever you want to look at sleep to mean or sleep to be. Whether an entity or, a person or, sleep itself or drugs or whatever it is. So when I say sleep, keep that in mind. Now, this is just so crazy in the way it's just showcasing another aspect of that toxic relationship and, dependency and things like that. Because he's saying that he knew from the beginning that sleep wasn't going to be a good thing for him, that it was going to be toxic because he can see the pain in her eyes. He can see the, all the baggage that's going to come with her and it, whatever. So even though he knew all this, he just went with it anyway. He accepted it in regardless of the fact that, it's not going to be a good thing for him. And that part right there kind of shows me personally, for me, that's kind of a dependency thing, before even being in that relationship and building that dependency. It's showing the need for something. It's showing the need for not being alone, for being able to have something to make you feel better or to give you something that you may be missing, regardless of if it's something that's bad for you. So that's, in that sense, that's what I got. And then he goes on to explain how, he's not the same person anymore, and, how bad sleep has affected him and, made him worse and has, been tearing him down. And, it, like we said, he knew this was going to be the case, but he went for it anyway. And at the end of the day, he doesn't even really seem to care as much, and he would rather still have sleep rather than, move on. And that shows the dependency once again. So that's just a basic idea of what I'm picking up from it. I'm not sitting here, I don't have the lyrics pulled up. I'm not going to sit here and depict everything. I'll let you guys, give me your interpretations of what it means to you and what you think it means. But for me and the narrative I'm building, that's kind of it, very fitting for the narrative I have. And for me personally, it's a very understandable and very relatable feeling and song. unfortunately. So, I mean, this was amazing. His voice, the everything going on in the song with all the different programming parts and the change ups and the melody of his singing, all these different things going on at the same time. Now the layered vocal underneath, it felt to me like that lyric layered underneath was almost like the thought in his head. That's why it's quietly layered underneath, is because while he's talking about this one thing and going through this specific motion and everything like that, in the back of his head, in his mind, these are the things that his brain is telling him, that he needs this love. He needs to feel this love. He needs her laying with him at night. And I thought that was very creative and very cool. And, I'm not saying that's exactly the reason they layered that vocal the way they did with those lyrics exactly at that part. That's just the way I was able to, interpret that. And I think that's pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think of the song. Let me know what it means to you. Super excited to keep going with this album because this is crazy. This song also felt like, if you told me this is one of the songs off their newest album, I would have believed it. You can just hear the progression as we go on. In everything, the musicality, his vocals, even though I know he's sung for a long time before this band and everything like that, but there's just so much progression, not even as individuals, but as a band as a whole, in their writing and everything like that. And it's so good. I once again, I can't see how this gets any better as we go on, but I know it's going to, and that's the thing that keeps me super excited to keep going and move on to the next song, next album, and everything like that. So appreciate you guys for sticking around. Like I said, if you want to see more exclusive content, I might even sit here and bring these songs back just on Patreon, and really sit and decipher the lyrics and even take some of the stuff you guys are telling me and interpretations you have and trying to take those and actually make sense of them to the lyrics and everything like that when I do those deep dives. So head over there if you want, become a member of Backstage. Links will be in my description, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Go check out some of my Sleep Token reactions or any of the other artists or bands that I've been doing. Hit the like button for me, helps me out a lot. And other than that, I will see y'all in the next one.